Good morning. Welcome to Granny Moreno's homestead. Just out taking care of the old chickens. Yes, I like my chickens. I've got a few Buff Orpingtons. That's what the yellow ones are. I bought 8 from Tractor Supply, and I'm kind of glad one of them turned out to be a rooster and not a pullet. That makes it good. Because in there, I also have 2 old white, they're supposed to be leghorns, but I don't really think they're leghorns. Whatever they are, they sure lay eggs every day. You can count on those 2 laying an egg. Then you might also see, nope, Big Red Mama. Big Mama hasn't decided where she wants to live yet. She doesn't know if she wants to live with larger people like herself or back with Romeo and his little bantam hens. Hadn't made up her mind. But that's like people, isn't it? Got to make up your mind. Where are you going to live? Are you going to live in the city? You know? Or are you going to live in the suburbs and a subdivision with all those rules and regulations and homeowner? Yeah, I've heard about those things. Well, anyhow, I prefer the country. My grandpa told me a long time ago that during the Great Depression, the country folks living out in the country on their farms did much better than those that were jammed up in the cities. They also did better during the Spanish flu outbreak. Yeah, that's what my papa said. He said the people that lived out in the country where they had fresh air and weren't right next door crowded up to a neighbor, he said they did very well compared with the people that were in Jacksonville shoulder to shoulder, the way he said it. But anyhow, we're out here where there's fresh air, sunshine, and you can hear the birds. At night you can hear crickets and frogs. You can see fireflies. Yeah, that's right, Romeo. He's next to the old cedar tree picking up probably ticks, I hope. Ticks are not a good thing. Yeah. And right back here. Hey, Curtis, what are you doing? Oh, Curtis is having breakfast. I'll be glad when his mate, when all of her chicks begin to hatch. Yep. Looking forward to having some little Curtises running around. Well, let me talk to you about where you're living. You really do need to get serious. You really do need to quit being like Big Mama the red hen. Find yourself a permanent abode. A place where it's safe. A place where you have fresh air. Yeah, that's what we need. Sunshine. Good, wholesome neighbors. Well, usually, neighbors are neighbors, you know what I mean? I just hope I'm a good neighbor. And in good times, living in the city might be okay. But I'm telling you what, we're coming up on some bad times. And we better be getting into our place where we need to be. Some of those people call it a bug out location. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it, hey, it's all right with me. As long as you're safe, as long as you feel good about where you are, seems like that would be good. And seems like civilization is changing quite a bit. I'm sure we're not going to go back to normal like we used to know. And I'm afraid of what we are going to go to. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. God knows. I'm not a psychic. But I can tell you one thing. history repeats itself. And sometimes that history that's being repeated is not the best thing in the world. Nope, it's not. You think that animals can be cruel to each other? Lord, it's nothing compared to what the two-legged animal called human can do. Some of the things you read in the newspaper or in your news feed on your smartphones, some of the things that people have devised to do to someone else, it's terrible, horrible. I mean, they must be demon possessed. That's all I know. And again, I keep thinking about the story that Leila Tulo, an Iraqi Yazidi, told about her 5 years of captivity as by ISIS. The things that were done to her and her children, the people that were in her community, her husband and her sons, they were horrific, terrible, horrible, horrible things. In her interview with the CBN News, she also told that most of the soldiers preferred virgins. Yeah, really sad. She told how they gang raped some. Horrible, 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 horrible. Ladies, I hope you don't think I'm just trying to scare you. I'm not. All I'm telling you is that history repeats itself. And what has happened to those unfortunate people in Iraq, Yazidis, and those who call themselves Christians, the things that have happened to them, they can happen right here in America. You need to make sure that you can protect yourself. Oh yeah, right, okay. You think you can protect yourself against a man? I'm sorry, but I am not a liberated woman, I suppose, because what woman can protect herself against a 150, 175, or 200-pound man? Who can? I can't. I'm not that strong. I'm strong, but I'm not that strong. A man's going to do what he wants to do, and most men are soldiers. They're going to do what they want to do. Some women are soldiers. Haven't read any horror stories about what women might have done. I don't know. But I do know that what's been used is simply a tactic used in war that's been used in war since the beginning of time. You do your ethnic cleansing, and that's done through numerous ways, simply by going in and committing mass murder, genocide. It's also done by getting rid of your women that are productive as far as childbearing years. It's also done by getting rid of the young men. These are things that happen in war. I'm sorry if your ears can't handle what I'm telling you, but it is the truth. It's the honest God's truth. All you have to do is read your history books. I myself love history. That's why I don't mind reading the history of, like I've been reading. The other way that the wars have been won is not just through genocide and demoralizing the people, but by making them slaves, giving them a slave mentality to where that they do everything that 2 or 3 guards will tell them to do. I think that's a problem here in America. They still got too many old goats like me that can still think for ourselves, that still remember what patriotism is and flag waving is all about. Other tactics used in war, of course, would not just be to demoralize the people and to terrorize them, but simply to remove their weapons. That's why so many people are fighting to keep their weapons, to keep our rights for our weapons, just as our forefathers intended. One of the reasons some of my grandparents left Europe, left Ireland, left Germany to come to this new country where they could start out fresh. Truly saddens me. And I think Curtis agrees with me, don't you, Curtis? It truly saddens me what's happening in our country today. It's disgraceful. But in the meantime, yes, Curtis, that's right. In the meantime, Curtis, we must prepare our places of safety, our bug out locations, if you want to call it that. I'll be sure you're safe, Curtis, although I think he could probably take care of his own. Well, okay. For you that can't handle what I'm saying, Curtis is trying to tell it too. Right back here, I might get some potatoes planted. I'm not sure yet. Yes, Curtis, potatoes would work good there. He thinks I should put corn there. By the way, do you ever talk to your animals? Yeah, I talk to mine. You'd rather have corn there? Well, fine. Too late for corn. Next year we'll have corn. Well, you have a good day. May God bless you.